I had to get a close-up shot of Pussy Boy.
There were roses. Oh, put the raid thing back on.
Set design. Are we obsessed if we get a Raid sponsorship? I love Raid. No,
girl, I stand by those bugs die.
Raid sponsorship, and then I've been saying ever since I lived alone and I would like keep a Raid can outside my apartment when I would come home from trips. I want a keychain. I was so into K-pop, I forget.
TikTok.
We be saying crazy.
On the TikTok.
I think I'm just gonna try to cut back on the cussing a little bit.
What's up, boy? Me having seen his dick is fine.
You have?
A girl! You just think this night, first of all, John denies that he ever hit on me, and now he's also denying that he never showed me his I've seen it on camera.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Not in real life. No.
Everyone's seen it on camera.
You see, someone was like, I would get the nude. I do not care about the voice recording.
Yeah. I did see that.
Oh.
I did see that. What did you just say?
About you having a
have you?
I'm supposed to be less vulgar.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, you're not on gay Twitter, but this thing on gay Twitter now is people will post like, someone will post like men in thongs, like with the like equation like greater than thing, like men in thongs.
Yeah.
And, like people are supposed to like start a thread, and some guy started one that said pink holes. And all the comments were like, what about us boys with brown holes? And so this morning he said brown holes.
Oh my God. I will say, I didn't know. Okay. Pink nipples.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Exist?
Not necessarily exist, but like I'm very fascinated by like East Asian beauty standards, you know, having read all the yaoi, which we do need to talk about. We do need to address. And like one of the beauty standards is like pink nipples. And I'm like, maybe because it's like nasty about like purity and shit. It's a thing.
It's so fleshy.
When I've like seen like pink nipples in the flesh, I'm like, what?
How big are your areolas?
They're not that big. I really enjoy my bobbies.
Have you ever seen
big areolas go off?
No, I've seen some, and sometimes I think it's so fabulous.
Mama, baby bottle pop. You can lick it, suck it.
Oh my God.
Wait, elephant in the room, your eyes are not deceiving you.
Whoa!
We got nose rings.
We have nose rings, yeah. Alexander made a comment like a week or two ago, and she was like, I realized every time we film, because we have nose rings on the opposite side, that no one knows we have them. That's not why we switched. We switched because I forgot to charge my laptop, and my only outlet is on this side.
Yeah. But my left side is better. Oh no, I just found out what frauding is.
Yeah, really? And why don't you explain to our viewers what frauding is? Love how you were like, I can't be vulgar. And we said pink, brown hole, big areolas, and frauding.
Oh my God, no. Because my phone is listening to me, right? Because I've like not been into yaoi like since like, oh yeah, that sounds crazy. But I've not been like when my yaoi phase was like 2020 horny pandemic or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that is when I got fully into it. Once I got a social life, I did back off of it a little bit, but we keep talking about it on the podcast. And so now I'm getting fed like on Twitter and on TikTok, like boys love, femboy, and yaoi, like not the content itself, but discussion around it in the jokes. And I got some TikTok where this girl was like, me going down to eat dinner with my family after gooning over femboys frauding. I said, what does this sentence mean?
That's in code.
And then I Googled it and I was like, oh, and then apparently there's a thing where it's like horse stuff. I don't know, girl.
I'm going to kind of call bullshit
on
that you think it's become part of your algorithm because we say it a lot in the podcast.
I haven't seen it in a minute.
It has not showed up once on my socials. So you are doing some kind of searching on your own time.
Because when it does pop up, I immediately like it. I thought, because I did want to bring up, there is this TikToker. Y'all, it is so funny. And this is a shout out to someone commented like, I would love like a yaoi like BL like review episode or something.
And BL for our viewers means
yes, boys love.
Boys love.
Yeah, it's a very specific.
And yaoi means
they're synonymous.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's this TikToker Tritney. And she makes these because there is this genre of boys love. Prepare yourself.
Okay.
Where the men get pregnant.
Hot. That is so
This
hot.
is what I'm saying. I'm like, you would love it. I mean, okay, the thing about boys love and yaoi is that you do kind of have to get over some of the cringe and like some also mama. Like intricate drawing. So this is insane. I'm totally going against everything I wanted to do. But there's a genre and it's called Omegaverse. And it's because there's in this world there's like alphas and omegas, and alphas can get omegas pregnant, and omegas they get in heat. Oh my god.
Girl, what the fuck?
They get in heat, and it's essentially like kind of like a cat where it's like omegas would be like, and so in a lot of these universes the omegas have to like take pills to stop themselves from getting in heat because they release pheromones that make the alphas like go feral.
Girl.
So that's just to say that there is this girl who like has been doing that trend of it where people will be like, medieval soldier goes on TikTok live. She's like, and Omega goes on live, and she's like, am I on Ozempic? No, sweetie, I was in heat. I was just in heat, sweetie. No. Like she's like, my alpha? I don't have an alpha at the moment. So shout out Tritney. I think your content's incredible.
Yeah, girl. Thanks.
Girl.
I didn't know that that's what yaoi was.
No, well, there's different genres. That's a specific, like, when you go on the sites, they're like tagged, and one genre is called Omegaverse.
Oh.
And the best thing
Write that down.
The best thing about yaoi that I love, though, is that there's always going to be one lesbian in it. Girl, I had the biggest crush on this lesbian in this, like, Yakuza one, and I was just like, oh my god. Let's move on.
I didn't realize that. I thought in like hentai they always kind of like blurred the genitals.
Okay, so hentai is like often straight. Hentai is often like characterized by like the gooniest faces, and it's often also like goes a little it's like that. It also like sometimes leads like a little pedophile-ish. Like it's not. If someone says they like hentai, I'm a little hesitant. Whereas people who like yaoi, yes, I'm still hesitant, but yaoi, is strictly men, and that's the thing, you have to find the uncensored versions. But there's this like term in the yaoi community called like light sticks.
Light sticks?
This is crazy. It's called light sticks because the way that they blur the penises and the genitals is they just turn it white. It's just a white lightsaber.
This is a cold open, by the way. This is like, we didn't plan. This is just where the conversation went.
We're not supposed to be talking.
You started this with, I gotta be less vulgar. You're talking about lightsabers?
Oh my god. No, yeah, but then there's the one. And so that's why like when I first started getting into it, I only saw like the blurred ones. And the first time that I saw that like drawn, like, and then there's like tutorials on, it's crazy. But once you get desensitized, a whole new world. And the plot lines are good.
I see that's the other thing for me is people that watch self-pleasure things for plot lines. Mama, I'd be skipping around to little whatever 30-second clips I need. The plot, yeah, I don't do it for the plot.
I like, because I don't like, because then when it's like the PG ones, I'm like, this is annoying. But I do fall for the plot because I find like the jealousy hot. I find being like, oh my god. When I was in my Naruto fanfiction phase, and it would be like, Naruto and Sasuke, like Sasuke's like, no, I need my Hinata as a Keka Genkai. And then there's like high stakes of like, if we have kids, are they gonna be blind? Like, bro, this one Sasuke Hinata fanfiction, when they had kids and one of them was mute and one of them was blind, I cried. How are you?
He's a deaf, dumb, and blind kid. Sure plays a mean pinball.
What is that?
From that like that band?
I don't know.
The ones that did I don't know. I actually don't know. It's like from that. It's a song. Deaf, dumb, and blind kid.
That's
because you're talking about someone that was mute and made you cry.
No, I know, but those lyrics are
not
wild.
PC. They're not PC.
Not PC, but
I'm good.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
What happened to hello? How are
What
you?
happened to hello? How are you? Jesus Christ. Speaking of housekeeping, as we typically start, well, I think you have something to address first.
Oh, okay. Yes, first. So, funny enough, we have 2 all-star curb stompers, both named Jose. And
Hey, girls.
Hey girls. We gave a shout out to Jose last week, and then I may or may not have seen in the comments that both Jose's were like, "That is so sweet of you," which I'm obsessed with. So last week's shout out was to Jose with the 0, I think, and then 3 E's. The one who doesn't have the Lisa Rinna.
The Lisa Rinna M&M.
And that first shout out went to Jose because just Jose has been there honestly like since day one.
Yeah.
Now, new Jose, who's also, I think Jose, you like twice, you like the Yowies. This is your week shout out. Thank you for being an all-star club stomper.
I love that neither of them saw the others.
They did not give a fuck.
Because if I saw someone else comment, I'd be like in
Like,
that comment like, bitch, who the fuck you think you are?
Feel free to scrap.
Thank you to both Jose's.
Yes.
This is our official shout out to both of you.
Yes.
Girls, stop fighting in the comments.
Yes.
Second housekeeping. Y'all, we got listen. This podcast is such just like a little like passion project for Alexander and I.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're starting to touch people's lives. And it is crazy.
Crazy.
We got a DM on TikTok.
So sweet.
It was very sweet. And it is, I'm keeping all of this anonymous because the person first off said, "Hey, John and Alex, I love the podcast. I've been quoting the podcast to my friends and they just don't get it." Girl, thank you. Question 1, when is merch dropping?
The second week. Okay, next priority is buying lights. Next priority is buying lights. Then Raid campaign.
Raid sponsor us.
And then merch.
And merch will just be a giant trash can image.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be it's
baby
gonna be great.
tees, all that.
But this person, you will be getting the merch when it comes out. We'll let you know. And the second question they asked, how do I come out to my parents? They aren't homophobic. I just feel like they're gonna make it weird. I want to do something funny. Thanks, the podcast's favorite closeted boy kisser.
Aww.
Which is so sweet. I actually wrote notes on this.
Yeah, John texted me this and I was like, okay, wants to come out, called himself favorite boy kisser and wanted to do something funny. I said, John, that's your daughter.
Yeah, I said that is my daughter.
And I never officially really came out. So take the floor.
Okay, so I have like a couple bullets because my one thing is like, thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Yes.
I do think like as like hardy har wackadoo this podcast is, like it is like very sweet that you trusted us with this information because like you don't know us, girl. Like this is parasocial, and like if I was vindictive, I could have like blasted you online and been like, at blank 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 is gay.
We're very candid though. We be sacrificing. Like what you see is what you get, girl.
But yeah, so thank you for sharing this with me. It takes a lot to be vulnerable online, so I appreciate you. My first order of business is just like logistic. Like, please make sure that your home is a safe one to do so. Like, if you feel like your access to shelter will it all be threatened, like reconsider, or like make sure you have things in order if any kind of fallout happens. It sounds like your parents aren't homophobic, so I don't think that'll be an issue.
Yeah.
But my biggest takeaway with coming out, I wrote, it's you-centric.
Oh, let's get into it. Babysitter's Club.
It's truly all about you. And I think if you think your parents are going to have a weird reaction, the biggest thing to acknowledge is you can't control how other people are going to react to your coming out. So let this be fully fueled by your experience. Like, what do you want from it? How do you want it to go? How do you want to feel afterwards? That should be like the tunnel vision that you have. Because coming out is truly a gift to yourself and permission to live as authentically as possible. And so I just think
it is a gift to yourself.
It is a gift to yourself. And so my third thing with that is like, let it be on your terms. I don't know if I've told my coming out story on here, but mine was not one that was on my terms. Like my mom pulled me out of the closet when I was not ready. It like totally put a rift in our relationship for a long time before we actually stopped talking. Ooh, my mother. But that being said, Like, let it be on your terms. So if you want it to be some like outlandish hardy har like full send girl, like I think when I DM'd you, I was like, do like a gender reveal, but instead,
I was just gonna say that.
But instead of like it being blue or pink, make it like rainbow or some shit, or like
I was like, if you want to go like take the joke too far, you say I got a girl pregnant.
Yeah,
you get your good Judy. You're like, we're gonna do a gender reveal. You wait months. You finally do it. You're shaking, and you cut it, and it's a rainbow, and you go, I'm gay.
And you go, I'm gay.
It might soften the blow. Is that thing if you think they might will react poorly? You're like, see how scared you were of me popping out a baby. Now you don't have to worry.
Yeah. That one obviously takes a lot of logistic planning.
It's a little unrealistic.
If you want something quick, I think the one that I always laugh at the most is when I saw. Do you remember when it was like the genesis of AI?
Okay.
When there was that like song creator, and it would go, Mr. Krabs is one big. Let me see that Chrissy.
Yes.
Like do that, but the big one that's like, Mom and Dad, I like to kiss boys, and I also like penis, like something like that. Just like put it on the TV. I'm sure you got like Chromecast or some shit on your living room.
I guess you can like come out via group chat.
Yeah,
because I didn't text my parents growing up.
I did,
but it was like BlackBerry, right?
Oh, girl, I had to call my mom every hour that I wasn't home if I was in a friend hangout. Girls,
every hour,
and be like, "Hi, I'm good. I'm here."
The longer, the older I grow, I realize how like lots of gay people had very strict upbringings.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, my parents said,
"Premier shelter."
My parents said, "You're home."
They're like, "Go make friends."
Literally, but
yeah, I think like do it however you want. Like I also, I would say like maybe like have a hangout with a friend scheduled for immediately after, so you can like have an out if you don't want to be home or like just feel uncomfortable. Have one of your divas you can debrief with.
Yeah,
I don't know how old you are. I'd say get a drink, but maybe get
I feel like they're not drinking
or something. I don't know what kids do these days. Like go to the strip mall and walk around.
Like, are you out at school? Like,
yeah, are you out with your friends?
But if you do it, let us know, and also just know
Please
you don't have to do it.
You don't have to by any means, but it sounds like you're ready, and I think that's a great indicator. Trust yourself. And let us know.
They probably already know.
They probably already know, girl.
Like, there's a chance they don't, because there are parents out there who just be dumb and clueless, but they probably already.
Yeah, and that's not a read to you specifically,
not
my
at all.
dear, but they probably already know. They probably already know, girl.
Yeah. But
and if they say that when you come out, if they go, "Honey, we know," don't take offense.
Don't take offense.
Just take it and just take it as a win and go.
Yeah, girl. How come? Like, okay, because I had my gay awakening 3 years ago or something. It was very evident that I did not like men, but I was most nervous about like telling my dad, because it's just like, I'm like, my dad is like from the projects of Oakland. I'm like, does he know? Like, but then my brother's gay too, but we never really talked about that. I like finally, and I was also struggling with saying the word like I'm a lesbian, because I was like, oh my God, that's a lot. Like for my birthday, my dad came to visit to help me move last summer. And I go, by the way, Dad, like I'm sure Mom has told you and stuff, but like I'm a lesbian. And he said something. He said like, girl, there's a bear shit in the woods. He said something that was so cunty. And I just went, oh. So yeah, let us know how it goes. Also, anyone, this is a little segment we like to call Ask the Curb.
Ask the Curb. Literally DM us.
Any questions?
We have an Instagram. DM us there. I don't check it that often. DM us on TikTok.
We're not like.
Comment on the YouTube. Like, I would love to do more advice questions.
Entertainment purposes only. We're not trying to get sued.
Yeah. If it's anything, betterhelp.com. If it's anything beyond entertainment questions, please, girls.
I know I can trickle down some like therapy talk, but other than that, but it does sound like you live with your parents.
And it sounds like you room and board with them.
Which I wonder, like, are parents roommates?
I I don't know.
No, because they're kind of like obligated to raise you.
Yeah.
But we are talking about roommates today.
Get one of your good mates.
Girl, it's tired. It's tired. It's played out.
We're talking about roommates, yeah.
Yeah. Which we were hesitant to talk about this because we currently have roommates and like unless you have some sort of brain chemistry that needs to be studied by UC Berkeley, you are always going to have problems with a roommate. You're always going to have tiny little gripes, tiny little this.
Yeah.
But we've had roommates for years. Like my roommate started in college.
Same.
So we will be going through that
after these short messages.
After this.
Take your binz.
Okay, so let's start with college roommates.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, actually, no. I was thinking because your roommate experience is heavily informed by how you grew up.
Mm.
Because, listen, y'all. Premier Princess of Thousand Oaks. I did have my own bathroom growing up.
Fuck you.
I know. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy.
You.
I know it's crazy.
Did your brother just pee outside?
No, my brother had his own bathroom. But and also y'all know my thing about like wetness, saliva, viscosities. And so that did inform my roommate experience. I also grew up in a like all black household that like we did have cleaners, but my parents like made us clean before the cleaners showed up. And so I did grow up knowing how to clean, grew up like knowing how to do my own laundry, because some people don't. So very clean household. Mess was okay. Dirt was not. It was only a family of 4, so we kind of all just minded our business. But I'm not sensitive to loud noises. What about you?
So I have 4 siblings. I only lived in the house. I'm the youngest. I only lived in the house with my sister, who was older than me. My brother would come to visit sometimes, but like it was my sister and I that lived together. I always had my own bedroom. We always shared a bathroom. I did have a TV in my room.
Ooh, okay.
From a young age, when the big dinosaur TVs were a thing, I had a TV in my room. Nice. We were whipped.
White mother. Hold up.
Whipped into shape. Whipped into shape. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I will say we were the kind of household where like my dad had a wooden spoon on the table at dinner, so if we ever put our elbows on, he would like hit us with a spoon.
Military.
Our rooms had to be clean at all times. I would get grounded if I had a pile of dirty laundry in my closet.
Everything's making sense.
Yeah, I grew up in a very strict household. So yes, I do tend to be a pretty type A roommate.
Okay, yeah. So my family, my room never had to be clean.
Like if you were like no dirt but mess okay, I was like no dirt, no mess ever.
Just stringent.
Just has to be like spotless, like show home level clean.
Yeah, my parents were very much just like, we're tired. Like they would come in and like open the windows while I'm in there and like and be like, it's stuffy as hell in here, and be like, oh my god, you need to clean up, but they never like enforced anything ever.
Oh no, and like my mom was very like fume sensitive. Okay. So one time my sister, she's gonna hate that I'm telling this story, but my sister couldn't paint her nails because the polish was too chemical smelling for my mom. So one time my sister closed her bedroom door, closed her closet door, and had a fan with the window open blowing out, slowly painting her nails. My mom comes up and goes, "You're trying to kill me." Yeah, girl,
my god,
crazy household. So I can be kind of an anal roommate.
But the thing about like, I think my parents only didn't care about our room being messy because like I am very much, and the mess does not leave our rooms.
Yeah.
That living room, and it was very guest oriented. I have that family that like we're a mess until someone's coming over, and it was like, wow.
Yeah.
And so we were like never like a spontaneous guest, like never, because we were trying to hide our secrets of messiness. So
yeah,
there's that. What was your college living situation freshman year?
Okay, so I lived in a dorm.
Okay.
It was like a co-ed dorm, but each floor was gender separated.
Oh, floor.
I was in the basement.
Tap dancing.
Tap dancing in the basement. So I was in the basement. So my window was like at like, okay, if this is like ground level, my room was here. And the only reason I had a window was because the dumpster was outside of our window. So
take your bins out.
Take your fucking bins out. So every morning I wake up to beep, 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 like the trash truck coming to get the dumpster. Loud as hell. My first roommate, his name was Angelo. He was also queer. We like met on like a Facebook queer thing. Yes, I did snoop through all of his drawers. And because I've put something this already.
You scared the fuck out of me. The heck out of me.
My favorite thing about him though is he had these platform shoes that were always hidden in his closet, but I knew them because I snuck around. And they were like these giant black platform shoes, and on one of them said in sparkly glitter that, and on the other one said bitch.
Like, I always say that like going to college and like going out in the world is where you meet people you didn't know exist. I did not know there were like normal facing people that actually snooped. Oh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. But I would say he and I were the kind of roommate where like we were not very chatty with one another. I think we had one conversation one time about who our favorite RuPaul's Drag Race queen was, and that was it. But you know when like you know someone and you have not said their name to them ever?
Yes.
Like if I with you, I'm always like Alexandra, blah, blah, Alexandra. Like I had never been like Angelo.
Whoa.
And it got to a point after like 6 months of living together, I was like, I don't think I can because it's been so long.
Yeah.
But he was awful.
Really?
He like the first like couple months we lived together, he would like listen at like midnight to like watch Netflix with no headphones on.
What's the room setup?
Oh, it's the kind of like dungeon box room where you both have like a twin mattress that's made of like prison pads. And it's like lofted. I had an awful tapestry of like a forest by my bed. With like the navy blue sheets and like
I had the UO.
The gingham pillows, yeah. But he was like watching Netflix. I remember it was like midnight and I looked at him and I went, "Can you please turn it down?" And he went, "No." And I went, "Excuse me?" And then I heard him slowly put on his headphones and I was like, "Yeah." But the first week we lived together, he got like food poisoning a lot.
Oh, okay.
I guess. I don't know what was really going on with him. But in the first week we lived together, I woke up to him throwing up in my trash can at like 4 a.m.
Oh my God. This is like reminding me like how you hear like people think like people were joking about like going on vacation with gays, and it's that TikTok song where it's like, "Yes, daddy," and then like a fart goes off in the background. It's just disgusting, like ewy.
Yeah, and we like the end of our roommate situation was like he left school maybe like 4 days before I did, and I was fully like, I came back from class one day and his side of the room was gone, and there was a mirror message that was like, "Loved living with you. Hope you have a great time at UF." Blah blah blah. No, the true like Drag Race exit. But he left the mirror, so I kept the mirror.
Okay, that's okay. Well, okay, I made the grave, horrible decision to our youngins going off to college. It's been said, it's a tale as old as time. Don't room with your best friend.
Oh, girl.
But here's T. Okay, so like, because I'm trying not to put my friend's info on blast. But let's just say my college was not my best friend's first choice, but then she got rejected from the college she thought she was going to get into. And so like, but I was like, this is the school I'm going to, like, it is what it is. And then I was looking for roommates when all of a sudden, and I couldn't find a roommate. I like found one on the Facebook page or whatever, but just getting ghosted. There's something about me, Diva. I don't no, wait.
Relax.
Yeah, no. But, and then my bestie was like, "By the way, I'm going to University of Washington. These pages suck." I was like, "What?" And I really did not want to do it. Like, I was so like, I don't want to do it. She was like down, not in like a desperate way, but just like she definitely prioritizes comfort and like does not like risk. And so she's like, I would rather just do it together. And then I was like, you know what? Fine. University of Washington, I don't know. Like, did you have like preconceived like notions about the dorms you got to choose?
Like the vibe of the
yes, like it was very Hogwarts. It was very
very Hogwarts, yeah. And I did not get anywhere close to my first pick.
Yeah, fuck J.K. Rowling. But like there was like West Campus where it was like bigger dorms, like one bathroom. It was more like apartment living kind of things, and like the University of Washington campus, like I'm sure you're used to, giant.
Mm-hmm.
I forget, like I would walk like a mile in these Louboutins to class.
Oh,
1 mile in the morning, 8 a.m. And then that was like the new apartments on the west side, and then on the north campus were like the older, more classic ones. And I done heard that those were like the party ones. I was like, okay, like let me do this. I lived in this dorm building called Haggett.
What'd you call me?
I know. Haggett's, let me hear you make some noise. And it was famous for like a hexagonal dorm. So our dorms were like in the shapes of like hexagons, and so it would be, our beds were on the same side, and it was those ugly twin beds.
That feng shui seems all out of whack.
So like I had to face, like my head had to be on this side facing the door, and hers had to be on the other side. Otherwise, we'd be head to head to the nail.
To the nail.
And the fights we got into.
Oh, talk about it.
That's the closest I've ever come to a physical fight. And that is
behind a closed door.
No.
Oh.
At a frat party.
Whoa.
In front of people, just because the resentment, the anger, Cancer and Capricorn, puzzle my puzzle piece. And like my best friend, she's kind of like gangster.
Okay.
Not in like a gaudy way, not in like a flashy way, but in a like, this is the only person that like I would cry and she wouldn't. I am usually the one who's like, why are we crying? But she's the only person who made me like cry in front of her while she's sitting here like, what are you doing?
Oh, I envy her.
Yeah, no, she's crazy. Crazy scary. And so we would get in these fights, and then I would just like leave a Starbucks on her desk. I'd be like, hey,
a real giver.
Because also like I was like so the classic like blacking out college student, like reckless, like doing dumb shit. Like I am kind of the person that in hindsight I'm like, oh, I was a bad roommate. We famously were not speaking when Lemonade dropped, and we would always go to Beyonce concerts together, and like Lemonade like mended us together. But we almost got in a fight outside of a frat house because I was like drunk as shit. She always like wanted to go home, and I'd be like, let's not go home. I'm like, whatever, like we already live together. And I just remember I pushed her.
Okay, so you started the fight. You pushed
But it's
her.
that thing where she was egging me. She was egging me on. She was like, I did it, and I was just like, oh. And then, but I was like, okay, this cannot happen. And we to this day we say we cannot believe we're still friends.
Pushing is hilarious.
Yeah, no, I've never pushed anyone ever again. So
to be so mad that you're just like, ugh. Like throw a punch at that point. A push.
Oh, and we had like the worst RAs ever. It was a co-ed freshman dorm, but only like guys lived together, girls lived together, and it was like 2 and 2. My floor was so lame. Like no one drank like or anything. Our RAs, her name was Mallory, and she had like these ugly curly hair, and like it. One time, me and Mandy would like get so drunk. I think like our room smelled of alcohol, and Mallory knocked on our door, and because we were the only people who went out. And she'd be like, yeah, so I smell alcohol in the dorms. And we go, I was like, I spilled Lysol. She was like, if I could just come in. I was like, no. And she was like, okay.
You're like, you got a search warrant?
Yeah. And famously, when I moved in, my mother was sobbing to get into the elevator, and we were all sitting like there, like the floor orientation, and we were just all sitting on the floor watching my mom in hysterics get on the elevator and sob.
I think my dad threw my stuff out of the car and just sped off into the night.
Like, goodbye. He's like, freedom. So that was my freshman year.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so what were the rest of your living
So
situations?
I only had one more rooming situation in college.
Okay.
I lived alone my last 2 years in an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
ratchet apartment. Girl, the pipes were visible in the wall. It was crazy.
Industrial design.
And I talk about having bugs, Mom. I had fat palmetto bugs.
What the hell is a palmetto bug?
It's like the cousin of a roach. That's like the southern version. That
the
like,
water bugs?
They like glide. And they're like bigger and like winged. Longer antennas. They're gross.
Oh, Florida.
But palmettos are typically like alone.
Okay.
Where like roaches come in like fucking colonies.
Ooh.
My second year, I lived at Lakeside,
Ooh.
which was like, ooh, you live in Lakeside?
It sounds like it.
It was like apartment style dorm living.
Okay.
So I had my own room,
Mhm.
but I shared an apartment with 3 other people.
Okay.
So there were 4 of us. That one was a little bit crazy. That was when I started being like a hoe.
I wanted to know about the fucking situation.
And so it was like, yeah, I would be like, well, college was weird though, because like I would host people sometimes, which fucking on a lofted twin bed.
Whoa!
Girl, fucking on a prison padded lofted twin bed was insane. Being like laying there, like watching a man struggle to climb a ladder to get into the bed was the most humbling thing.
Creaking.
The creaking. Oh my God. But yeah, that was like, I had 3 straight roommates and I was a huge pothead then. So I was smoking like every night. And I don't think I ever said one word to one of them. Like I did not. And they were all friends and would hang out in the living room.
Interesting.
And I would just come home, like keep my head down with my headphones on and like walk to my room.
Mm-hmm.
I have one story, but I don't know if I should say it.
What's the sneak peek?
I put it under my door and one of them grabbed it. Is that too crazy?
Wait.
Is that too crazy?
Wait. Say it, please. I'm begging.
Okay, I used to be a big pot smoker, and weed is like an aphrodisiac for me.
Oh, okay,
like if I smoke, I am horny.
Okay.
With a capital H and a capital T.
Okay.
And one night I had smoked and I was just like in my room, like jerking it and like horny. And here's my thing: in college, I like thought losers were so hot.
Okay.
And I would say all 3 of my roommates were losers.
Happens to the best of us.
And so I like wrote I was really high out of my mind and I was like, oh, it'd be so hot if I like sucked one of my roommates' dicks. So I was like, let me figure out how I can like proposition that. And so I basically wrote a note that said, want head ? On a piece of paper and slid it under my door barely. Because I was like nervous and scared and high, and I was like, it's just like hot that this is even like a thing that I'm considering.
You mean so like your door is closed and you slid it
My
out
door
so
was
someone could
closed,
see
and like
it?
I slid the paper a little bit out under it.
Bitch.
What happened was
that Emily Dickinson writing on napkins?
and then I think I had like finished. I like came and I was like just like chilling in my room watching Netflix, and then I hear shh, and someone grabbed the paper, and I start I'm like, oh my god, because now I'm like I have post nut clarity. I'm like, I don't want to do this
Weed
anymore.
Weed heartbeat
on top of post nut clarity. I hear that, and then I take my headphones off and I hear him go in his room, and I'm like, oh my god, is he like writing back on it? And then like 2 minutes later, I hear shh, and the note comes back under my door. And I pick it up and there's nothing written on it. And so I just crumpled up and throw it out the window.
Bitch! Oh my god.
But that happened, unfortunately, I think in the first like 3 months of the semester.
You chose the first 3 months.
So for the rest of the year, that guy that lived in the room next to me, girl, no eye contact, not once, not ever, mama, not ever.
They should have taken it. Someone should have taken you up your offer. What?
Yeah, I was a horny little twink. I would have gotten on my knees.
Now
but
that's some yaoi.
That was
Write that down. Write that down.
Write that down. Write that down. Yeah, no, but that was
That's
I was the
insane.
I was the crazy roommate in that apartment.
Pussy boy.
I'm at peace with that.
Oh my god.
The word on the curb. The word on the curb. On the curb.
I'm so obsessed with you. You have the best stories. That is crazy.
Yeah, I was a little bit unhinged in college.
I was just thinking about like in college when I was like hooking up with men and like I was kind of like a football players only type diva. Cause girl, low hanging fruit. Also, like it was a PWI, and so like I was like one of the few
What
like
is that?
Predominantly white college.
PWI?
Oh, predominantly white institution.
Okay.
And so and also, which like this is whatever. It's just a thing. But a lot of the black people at University of Washington were like African,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a very distinct difference between like the African community and the Black American
Hi,
community.
Asha.
Hi, Asha. Hi, Fatim.
Hi, Asha. I'm a team.
And most of the Black American community was like in sports or whatever. And so, and also, I never hosted. I'm like, you're not coming. I don't know if like maybe this is just a girls thing. I don't know, but like, I'm coming to your dorm. Like, what are you talking about? But I did lose my virginity in the dorm of a football player whose roommate is like now like an NFL star.
Hot.
Girl, I was like, who's your roommate? Yeah, and so yeah, going to guys' dorms was interesting. But so sophomore year, I lived with another friend, and then I lived with a guy. And this is crazy that I thought this was a good idea. But me and my friend, who was like, I think I mentioned her before, like meek white girl that like I always was giving anxiety, and she was just kind of anxiety hanging out with me. I'm so sorry, girl.
Yeah.
Like I really kind of put you through the ringer. We shared a room, and then we had a guy roommate. I don't remember his name. But he would like only eat Soylent.
Isn't that from that book?
The bathroom.
B.U.
He would only eat Soylent, and he would do the thing where he just throws like raw chicken into a pan and the vegetables and maybe like some sort of like maybe milk or something, and would like stir it around. And would stir it around and then just like eat it. Like it was just foul and
dog food.
It was, and the apartments were called Ivy Ridge, and like the thing, because me and Mandy were always like outsourcing our hookups, but that is the first place that I walked into our room and I was like, someone just fucked in here. What is going on?
Because it smelled like sex.
I was like,
it was a little
muggy,
human.
and I was like,
it's a little muggy.
I said, it's a real muggy in here. I don't know what's wrong with me, but like just so no tact. I was like, what were y'all doing in here? Anywho, yeah, so live with friends. And then for junior and senior year, because you didn't have roommates junior, senior.
No.
Luckily. Yeah. Mind you, I went to school in Seattle. Okay? All the stereotypes about Seattle natives, which I don't think we're supposed to call them that, like Seattleites. It's true. I'm talking
like the freeze.
No, I'm talking like essential oils for cleaning. I'm talking like lighting a candle for like in the bathrooms clean. I'm talking, I lived in a house, a 5-person house, and I like snuck my way in through my friend. Like they had an open room, and I knew my one friend who I met Asha and Rose through. Well, okay, maybe I'll bleep Rose's name out, but I do love living in a house. Living in a house is like very fun because it's just kind of like, it's not awkward, to be honest. I had the biggest room upstairs, and I lived like next to this Russian guy who would like, he'd always be talking on the phone to his mom, and his mom would always make him cry. I'd be like, oh my God. And yeah, this is when I like there was like queer people. There was like a guy. It was absolutely filthy. The guy would like hit on me and be like, yeah, we should write together. I'm like, we're roommates. He'd be like, I have a writer's club, you should come, whatever. This is when I also had this other roommate who was insane. She was lonely, and she had a raging eating disorder, and like she'd be like, and something about that is like they don't like mirrors, and like I love a mirror, and she was like, you got a lot of mirrors in here, and then like my friend would come over and she'd be like, where you guys going? we're going to Hot Pot, and she's like, oh, I love Hot Pot. And in hindsight, like I was a bad roommate in the way that I was just kind of like a raging bitch. Like I was not community based. I did not know anything about community. Like the guy roommate would be like, oh, like we should share coffee in the morning. I'd be like, get your beans away from my beans.
Take your beans out. Take your beans out.
Like, yeah, but it was fun, honestly. Y'all ever had roommates with IBS? Because girl, oh, this is something about roommates. Okay, tell me if I'm crazy, but I can tell when my roommate starts eating healthy.
When the bathroom smells like a barnyard.
No, but at least it's better than like the rancid toxicity that'll burn your eyebrows off.
Sin.
And then all of those roommates were graduating, so they were all leaving, and then that is when it was the best housing situation of my life, because it was just me and like my 4 other friends. We would caravan to the club. We'd come back like drunk as hell, like. Except then, of course, like one of the roommates like did get a partner, and then she would be like, oh, she'd be like, "Can you guys like whatever?" That is famously when my white roommates took my fruit bowl. I had a fruit bowl in the kitchen. Took the fruit out, put bleach in it, and used it to mop the floor. They were using my fruit bowl as a mop bucket for months.
Wait a minute. Were they washing it after?
They said, yeah, they were like, yeah, but we would clean it. My apples! My apples!
I think the apples rotten right there the door.
Yeah, girl. I yelled. I did yell. That was when there was fights about like the heater on in the morning, and it was like, that was very much. Did you ever have roommate meetings?
No, but I know of them.
Roommate meetings are so tea. I live for it. The real housewife reunions. Like I'm obsessed. But yeah, that was my college experience. 2 of my roommates would just like sit and like chain smoke. Oh my god, it was we lived next to like, it's not unemployed housing, but it was like for people who couldn't afford housing.
Like subsidized housing?
Yeah. And we lived next to this like chain smoker old woman who would blast Christian rock, and she only called me Brianna. Brianna. I'd be like, hey girl, and she'd be like, hi Brianna, and I went, oh, it's Alexandra. She said, what, Brianna? I was like, it's Brianna.
Wait, low key.
It was tea.
I'm gonna start adopting that behavior. Yeah. That's funny.
But we should move on to New York roommates. Or did you have Seattle stuff?
Well, I lived alone for the rest of college, and I lived alone in Seattle for 1 year, and then I had my experience of living with a best friend for the first time.
How was it?
Kenzie.
Shout out.
Hey, girl, I'm gonna try not to say too much on you, girl.
Not too much.
I'm gonna keep it clean for you, but you didn't keep it clean for me. Yeah, Kenzie was like, I mean, I loved living with her. We lived in this beautiful high rise, which was like, as messy as Kenzie was, it kind of all, I was willing to clean as much because I had a beautiful home, like
luxury,
a peak location. We were on like the 35th floor. It was like felt like a penthouse. It was gorgeous.
A lobby, elevators,
a door person, elevators, gym, laundry in unit, wine fridge in unit, dishwasher in unit. Girl. They treat me like a dog in New York day and night. I would say though, my biggest take with Kenzie is, and it's like a beautiful one, it was I very much went into living with her being like, I think this is, at least at that time in my life, like as close as I'll feel to what it's like to live with a partner.
Oh.
Where it's like, I love this person so much, and like we have such an intimate relationship, and like living together is gonna push that even further. That I do think I learned a lot from it. I'm still trying to learn how to let go of some things.
Any fights?
We never got in like a fight. I think the biggest fight that we got in is when I said I wanted to move to New York, and I was like, I want to move, because I'm the kind of person that like I make big life decisions like by myself, and then I'll like inform people of them. Where she, and I totally understand, is like, I want my friends to like use me as a sounding board, because I went to her and I was like, yeah, after our lease is up, I'm moving. And then we like didn't talk for like 4 days, and it was Because it was just like she was really hurt, and I was like, I don't think I did anything wrong. But then we're fine now, and I one of the loves of my life for sure. But living with Kenzie introduced me to the art of the post game.
Talk about it.
Which Kenzie and I were like the post game divas. Mm-hmm. It was like, oh, it was so fun. We'd be like out. We weren't showing up at the club until at least 11:30 midnight,
which is insane on the West Coast where the clubs close at 2.
But I mean, as what we talked about last time, I'm a punctual girl. Yeah. Living with Kenzie, those were the times that we really got kind of catty. When I'd be fully ready to go out with a drink in my hand and she'd be naked in bed on TikTok, and I was like, girl. It got to a point where real. I literally had a spray bottle, and I would come up to her and be like, get up now. Because I was like, I will spray you with the face. But
God.
The post game, we were the girls that'd be like at the club when it's like about to close at 2. Mm-hmm. Crazy in Seattle.
Disgusting.
And we'd be like going up to, like inviting like random people, like, do you want to come to our house? And we'd have like post games to like 6 a.m. Post gaming is so fun though, because you just get to walk right to your room when it's over.
You do.
I do. That's why I like doing it. But the funny thing was, because as much as I love a post game, I also am a girl that likes alone time, and I do not sleep well when there's noise happening.
Okay.
And I'm also, when it comes to a post game, I'm a hard stop kind of girl. There ain't no weaning you out. And so Kenzie used to text me when she was tired, make everyone leave. And I would literally, at the drop of a hat, go, all right, everyone out now. Uber's called, out, Uber's out.
And it is like direct eye contact. It evokes, the feeling is like, suddenly you go from like, this is the most warm, welcoming person.
It's like, we're doing shots. We're like, I love you.
Get out. How did you get here? He gaslights you out of the building. He goes, what are you, get out. Go, I'm tired, move.
Well, yeah,
it works.
I pay rent to be there, so I choose when you are not there anymore.
We'll get rid of guests, but can't get rid of roaches. It's fine.
Okay, relax. But yeah, that was my last non-New York roommate. Take your binz.
So, okay. And so I do have roommates now. I did live alone for most of New York until I got laid off, and I said, oh, well, okay, I can't afford that anymore. But I'm not going to gab about my roommates for respect and maturity. But like New York roommates, Bushwick,
girl,
I have witnessed the way people live, the way that people are okay with living, the things that. Oh, I don't live with white people.
I've only ever lived with white people.
This is my first time. Not living with white people, because the mop bowl, the cleaning, it's cultural. It is actually cultural to me. Like it truly is. Like I have 2 black roommates right now. There are always baby wipes next to the toilet. The toilet paper is always stocked. We have a tight cleaning schedule that everyone respects. No one comes over. And I know some people like have an issue with that and will find that weird and like frigid, but it is like, it's so, I think it's like, my dad was the exact same way. We're like, we don't need guests in our home. Like, I don't want Whoopi Goldberg. Like, I don't want no man in my bed. Like, and when it comes to whiteness, there is just a lack of boundaries that I have experienced that is so crazy insane. And put Bushwick on top of that. Oh my God, the stereotype of Sock being like, so you're really invalidating my queerness by making me do the dishes.
That happened?
Oh no, it didn't happen to me, but I just hear about it so much.
Oh.
Being like, well, have you ever, like, that friend, I would go over to their place and they had 2 roommates, and I'd be like, oh yeah, like their roommate would always be vacuuming, and I'd be like, oh, like, well, when do you clean? They had lived there for 8 months. They said, I've never cleaned before. They never cleaned. I looked at them and I said, you need to clean. And they go, they never asked me. And I was like, are you out of your mind? Like, it's crazy, the principles of like.
Yeah.
What is an ideal roommate to you?
Or
what do you value? And what are deal breakers?
I do value like autonomy and cleanliness.
Okay.
I think there's, you don't have like, say like you have just cooked, I don't expect that you're doing all of your dishes immediately after.
Me neither.
I'm cool like as long as like they're in the sink and they're like sudsed up.
Yeah.
Leave them for a couple hours. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing I've learned that I value is someone with a bustling social schedule.
Okay, what do you mean?
Because I'm like, I have experienced most of the people I would say I've lived with are people that are often not home.
Okay.
It's really nice.
Well, are you home a lot?
No, but I think like when I lived in Seattle, I worked from home and I had a pretty small social life.
Okay.
So like Kenzie was 100% like working at office. So like I was always alone for a long time, which was great, but did get kind of lonely.
Mm-hmm.
Where here now it's like I do work from home still, but like my social life is really
bustling.
I think that's like an important maybe like unspoken roommate thing that I do think there has to be trade-off of like who's leaving the house for the day and who gets to have the house to themselves today.
Oh, okay.
Like I think it's important to give people you live with alone time. That's not just their bedroom.
Oh yeah, I do, because I can be home for 2 weeks straight. Like it doesn't matter. But so I do make it a point to like leave now that I have 2 roommates. I think the peak roommate number is like 1. Because if they're not home, you're alone.
Yeah.
But my deal breaker, y'all, second to white roommates, you gotta be single. I'm not living with. If you get a partner, I will be moving out. And that's the thing. I know it's me. So maturity, I'm never gonna make someone like move out and be like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Because that partner will be over.
They will be over.
And I think that's fine. I mean, I think that's natural and a normal thing. My blood boils. And honestly, what is though, I think because, I am somewhat of a misandrist sometimes, like I did think about like if I like have like a lesbian or like a bisexual roommate and like they had a girlfriend, I'd be like, bring her over.
But a man, no.
Straight men come over. They use your soap like it costs $1. They use your toilet paper like it costs $1. They just leave a mess. They stomp so loud. They're stomping everywhere. They're knocking shit over.
They leave the seat open.
And then you have to look at your roommate in the eyes and she's like, isn't he so sweet? No! He's not sweet. He leaves his bike in our living room. What? He takes up all this space. And then they're like, oh, well, we started showering together to save water. I don't want your man in my bathtub. I don't want your man anywhere near. And I know it's me. I know that that is I gotta take care of myself, which is why the way I assuage my bitchiness is just by making my moves.
Yeah, that was something when I was looking for a new roommate. I did post. I was like, I do have a boyfriend and he will be over.
And that's
but at the same time, I feel like the trade-off is that also means like sometimes I'm not here. Like I will sleep at the person will sleep with their partners or like be at their partners. Ideally,
we could never live together. I'll just say that.
Oh, mama, that's not the reason why.
No. Like, no. I'm also not trying to hear like the partners having conversations. I'm not trying to hear laughter. I'm not trying to hear none of that in my house.
Laughter.
No, I will just be. I'm like, I know it gives like crotchety bitter.
You're in your bed. Why those bitches laughing?
I am. I'm like, oh my god. And they're always like, no. Well, the thing is just like also like love really just deludes. It's delusion. It's just gonna happen. Like I can totally see me like falling in love with someone and being like, oh my god, but we're so quiet. You're not quiet.
Okay.
You're laughing loud as hell.
Okay, what are your thoughts on partner or not having a roommate and having sex while your roommate's there?
See, I have lived with some asexual divas because like no one's fucking in my apartment at the moment. I heard, and the girlie who did have a partner, she lived downstairs in the house. I've never experienced like my person I shared a wall with in Seattle, the guy, he wasn't fucking anybody. Like, also, I am an around the clock headphones girl.
Yeah.
Like, I think I need to buy new headphones because mine are kind of gross. What about you though?
My thing is like turn music on.
Okay.
I'd rather hear like music than grunt splash splash. I have had some funny moments with one of my roommates though, where they would like play a playlist while they were fucking, but like it would play the most like Chapel Roan Pink Pony Club ass song.
Look what you did.
No, literally, I'm like, girl, you doing back shots to Hot to Go? Jesus Christ. I think, yeah, I feel like it's like there should be some, what's the word? Self-reflection, self-awareness of like noise, especially when it comes to that. But see, my thing is I won't live with straight people anymore. I only live with gay guys.
Okay. Straight men and straight women?
I would say like I would rather live with a gay man than anyone else.
Yeah, it is also important to like room with people who have, I think, like the same social life values as you.
Yeah.
Because I do have roommates that do not necessarily align with my like partying ways, and I do keep that to myself under wraps. And I'm not trying, like if I'm having a pregame, it's because they're gone. But I will say that one time I did hear my roommate having sex because I was downstairs. I put my ear to the wall. I said, "What's she giving?"
I do the same thing.
So I don't even think I would really mind it that much. A, because I am the noise cancellation headphones diva, and also I'm like, "What's my girl giving?"
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. It was me and Fatim, and our friend started fucking because her wall was with the living room, and we both leaned in, and Fatim goes, "Why do the men never moan?" So oddly enough, yeah, that would not send me to the psych ward.
But you know what did send me to the psych ward?
Did send me to the psych ward. Unless, do you have any final?
No. We talked for an hour. I think we covered the bases.
We did. Sometimes, just know sometimes you are the bad roommate.
Yeah.
And accept that. It's okay. We all make mistakes.
The word on the curb. The word on the curb. On the curb.
Show me the receipts. Show it off. Show it off.
My mind.
And what are you?
Don't zoom in because it's written in terrible font. My psych ward is. Yeah. I was stopped by the police last night. My boyfriend and I were going to Chelsea to meet up with some friends for a pregame.
Not the ounces specified. Go ahead.
Oh my God. So my boyfriend lives like a couple blocks away from me, and we were at his house, and I had brought over like 2 Spindrifts that I had left in my fridge, and we were drinking them while he finished getting ready. And like hindsight's 2020.
Mm-hmm.
The number of things that could have, the one thing that could have changed that would have saved this. So I didn't want to take the train because it was like an hour to get there, and Uber was $45, and I was like, I'm calling a fucking Uber. I call an Uber. I accidentally call it for across the street from his apartment.
Okay.
We are ready to leave. We're both probably like halfway through our Spindrift. I go, I'm just going to chug mine. Actually, no, I want it in the Uber. So we're walking out with them. The car is across the street. We have to cross the crosswalk. I'm walking across the crosswalk in a spindly little tank top, very womana, and I hear, gentlemen, please stop. I wanted to go, gentlemen, just to catch him off guard. And they're like, stop us. They go, what are those? What are those? John and I look at each other and go, oh, fuck. And I was like, it's a seltzer. I'm sorry. I'll throw it away. I like didn't even think. I'm 5 feet away from the Uber door. I'm like, I'll throw it away. He goes, no. Come stand over here. They like pull us over to a corner. Are like 2 of them are like around us. Neither of the cops is hot. Awful.
What's the point then?
They like tape both our IDs. And John and I are both just like mute. And I'm like, fuck this bitch. Like, I've never gotten pulled over for open carrying. It's a fucking like Spindrift. It's not even like anything. And the guy's like, how many ounces? And John and I both look at it and we're like, well, the can says 12, but it's probably like it's 6 now. And the cop goes, well, it's going to be 0 soon.
What the sassy?
And I thought he meant like, we're going to make you dump them out. So they take our IDs. They're writing these tickets. It's $100.
That's fucking crazy.
$100, which I will not be paying
in this economy.
Oh, the mail-in penalty is only $25.
Oh,
that's not bad.
well, like, but what's
The max penalty says $100. Whatever, I'll figure it out.
It's less than your Uber.
That's less than my Uber. But so also, I'm texting Alexandra because I'm like, black man. Da, 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 da. I'm like, I've been pulled over by the cops. She says, pull out your camera, videotape for the podcast. I'm like, girl, I'm trying to not get shot. Jesus.
I'm trying to make movie magic.
And so they're like, also, while they're doing this, we can hear their walkie-talkie. Mm-hmm. And on the walkie-talkie, like a dispatcher goes, I think someone's getting kidnapped right now. And I'm like, but I'm being stopped for my little couple backwash sips of Spindrift.
Oh my God.
Also, I'm like, the Uber driver is staring at me the whole time. I'm like texting him from the app, like, I think you should leave. Like, I've been pulled over. He goes, I'll wait.
Okay, ally.
He waited for like 15 minutes. So then they write our tickets. They keep asking me if I have any like other crimes.
We all know why. He
keeps asking like if I've lived. He's reading off my past addresses from like college that I was like, yeah, I've lived there. Like, what the fuck? And then at the end, they give us our tickets. They go, all right, you guys can have a good night. You can finish your drinks. I can finish the drink.
Fuck the police,
the
bro.
most expensive Spindrift of my life. A
police.
seltzer I don't even fucking like. And then we get in the Uber. The Uber's this like big Russian man. Mm-hmm. And he was coaching us on the ride of how to get out of it.
Oh my God, an ally.
He was like looking in the mirror driving. He was like, do you understand what I mean if you say I'm looking for a trash can?
Oh.
And I was like, and John thought he meant you can't bring them in the car, throw them away. Oh. And I was like, no, John, he's saying like, if this happens again.
You look for a trash can.
But then he was like, I'm not saying if it happens again. He goes, now. He was like, try appeal it online. Be like, we were looking for
a trash can.
Like there was no trash can at the party we were at. We were leaving the party and we were looking to place to throw it away. God.
Because y'all like, listen, in my head, because John and I will have White Claws on the L train, like our legs crossed over each other, being like, yeah. Like on Halloween, we're like on the pole, chugging like a White Claw. So I'm thinking you and John are on the train. You like had to get off the train and you're like in a crowded space. I didn't know you were out like 5 feet in front of your apartment.
The walk from literally like halfway between an apartment door and an Uber.
That's crazy.
It was fucking crazy. And I mean, in hindsight, like I should have seen like the flashing police lights at the intersection.
No.
I'm also like, girl, I'm in Bed-Stuy. Like, am I really the person that you want to go here?
We're gonna get a Amber Alert for the person who got kidnapped.
No, dead ass.
Because you were drinking.
Because I was
that blood is on your hands.
Oh my God.
That's insane.
But yeah, so you're looking at a felon.
That is
on my they got the Uber record being like, your permanent record, your record. I was like, girl,
God.
It's open carry. Like, I don't think I'm not gonna like get access to jobs because of this.
And let the record show that I did eventually text, wait, are you good? Because I did register. I was like, wait a minute.
I will say,
black man.
I will say this pregame I went to.
Was it worth it?
No. And some of the white people were checking in a little too much on me.
What do you mean?
Girl, are you sure you're okay? I was like, yeah, get me a shot, diva. Like, I'm fine.
That's insane. Wow. Well, I guess that's kind of New York bucket list, though, is getting open carry ticket.
Yeah, I feel like open carry ticket and a ticket for hopping the turnstile are like New York bucket list ones. But yeah, that definitely sent me to the psych ward.
That would send me to the psych ward.
I will say, though, if it's $100, that's how much I would have spent had I gone to the bar that night.
Still, though,
and I didn't go to the bar. But it says this minimum. It says mail in 25, so maybe that's actually fine. I'll figure it out.
That's insane.
But yeah, black man.
I guess mine is also racial profiling, which what happened at that restaurant. Okay, so my psych word is that me, John, and friends all went to go get like martinis or whatever at this restaurant.
Layla.
And what's so funny is that because I never remember the names of restaurants, bro. Just be like, I'm not a good foodie in any way. And we go, and I'm like, as we're walking in, I was like, wait, I've been here before. Bruh, I was at this place's restaurant opening, in which I had like 2 years ago or something. And in which free drinks ate all their food for free. These martinis are not cheap. Like they invited me. They were like, please come. Like if you want to write about it, write about it. 2 years later, I guess it's like a poppin' like restaurant / bar now. It was really good. Me and John like walk in, and it is like kind of that classic New York like kind of hallway, and then like open space, and then like bigger patio. It's like what 11? No, it's like 10:30.
Yeah.
We walk in. John with his like type A posture, straight ahead, just like keeps walking like in front of me or whatever. The hostess told us like, oh, your friends are here. Like go to the back. What I'm assuming owner and or manager, like when there's always like a big man at the restaurant just everywhere and you just know that it's the owner.
Yeah.
He stops me. John walks by. He did try to kind of stop John, but
he hollered at me and I kept walking.
John just kept walking. He stops me and he goes, sorry, the patio's closed. The patio's closed. And I was like, wait, what? He's like, no more people, the patio's closed. And I was like, what? And then like he looks to the left and like maybe he sees me and John make eye contact or something, I don't know. And he goes, oh, why didn't you tell me you had a reservation? Go ahead. Racism. I'm calling racism.
Boo.
I'm calling drinking martinis while black. I was like, boy, you better be mad embarrassed about this. And the fact that like you're stopping me and I was at your fucking restaurant opening, nasty work.
Because I remember I heard him in the corner of my ear be like, oh, sir. And then I walked by and he went, oh, because he thought I was like being rude. And I'm like, I have been told to go to this table. Why are you trying to stop me?
It was crazy. He was like, the patio's closed. I was like, all right, let me get my Rosa Parks ass out of here. Damn. Like, what? But yeah, so not an insane Sike ward.
But then.
What happened? What about the wall? Oh! Are we going to put this place on blast like that?
Layla, bad host and dingy environment.
Because also it was so small and like the waiters kept like asking us to like kind of get, not me and John, but like it was so cramped.
Yeah.
We're dishing. We're having a heated debate about Addison Rae being Y2K or not. Who spotted it? It wasn't me.
It was me.
How did you spot it? You just had your senses. You had your spidey senses.
Me and John, my roachy senses
we had our backs to the wall.
But I was like catty cornered, so I could like if I was looking to you and Missy, I could like see the wall behind you.
Mama, roach up the wall.
And also, this big.
It was fat.
This big, so big, and it's like a New York like dimly lit restaurant. I saw a shadow.
It had a shadow.
I saw a shadow move, and it was over this big table of people that I was like, have they not seen this?
Straight up the wall.
And I think I fully went like,
you did.
I gasped because girl roaches are so big, and that was so big that I was just I forget that New York roaches aren't just in apartments.
No,
they're like in restaurants and bars, and like
they're always crawling up the wall.
They're
never on the floor. But yeah, so Layla, humble yourself.
Well, I will say the hostess was amazing. She gave us free shots, and she said that we were her favorite table of the night.
Oh, you mean the waitress?
The waitress, yeah.
The waitress was so sweet, and the wall that the roach was crawling on was right next to that party that was mean to her, I guess. We were all like, bye, Grace.
You're bye, Grace.
Yeah, so shout out Grace. You're sweet. Obsessed with you.
Layla, count your days.
Count your days and take your binz out.
And NYPD.
Take your binz out.
Take your, I don't know.
Your pig binz.
Your pig binz out.
This little piggy went to the dumpster.
Oh my God.
Goodbye, y'all.
Mwah.